The following video contains spoilers. Please click away if you don't want to hear spoilers. Hey guys! What's up? Alpha Lion Simba here, and welcome to the final part of sentencing Disney villains for their crimes. As always, I am the judge, jury, and executioner. And for the last time, let's summon our bailiff, prosecution lawyer, and counselor, Jiminy Cricket. Thank you, Judge Alpha, my friend. I'm ready to give this one last go. Thanks a bunch, Jiminy. So, in our final session, we shall be covering the villains from Zootopia, Moana, Raya and the Last Dragon, and Wish. So, with no further ado, court is now officially in session. Our first film in the docket is Zootopia, and our first villain to stand trial from there is Duke Weaselton. Now, his first charge is theft, because when we're first introduced to him, he stole a bunch of night howlers. Yup, and while Judy was chasing him down, he caused a lot of damage and could have crushed the denizens of Little Redentia. So that's a charge of reckless endangerment. And with those night howlers, he was planning on taking them to Bellwether and her gang, making him guilty of both aiding and abetting and drug distribution. Right. And so therefore, I shall sentence Duke Weaselton to 13 years of community service. Up next is Dawn Bellwether. Now, she may look like a sweet little sheep, but she is definitely a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's right. Her plan to dart all the predators in Zootopia and make them go savage can essentially be amounted to terrorism. Not to mention, she framed former Mayor Leodore Lionheart for her crime, which is a charge of false incrimination. The fact that she was the main owner of the Night Howlers, we can get her for the charge of possession of controlled substances, and she attempted to dart Nick Wilde to have him kill Judy, slapping her the charge of attempted murder. What do you think the sentence should be, Jiminy? Well, sir, I think that Dawn Bellwether is deserving of nothing less than life behind bars without parole. All right, friends, it's time to board me and Jiminy's ship and sail across the sea, because our next movie is Moana. First up, we have Tamatoa, the giant crab. His first charge is murder, given that he said he ate his own grandmother. And he stole a bunch of shiny stuff and Maui's fish hook, making him guilty of theft. Plus, he tried to kill both Moana and Maui, making him guilty of 2 counts of attempted murder. Yup, and so therefore, I hereby sentence Tamatoa to the death penalty. The execution manner? Cook him up and serve him with butter. Yum, yum. Anywho, up next is Tekka. Now, Tekka was the demon who was responsible for all the pollution of the Polynesian islands, making her guilty of environmental damage, and she tried to kill Moana and Maui, the charge of attempted murder, but in reality, Tekka is really just Tefiti corrupted without her heart, and so therefore, she is pardoned. Up next is Raya and the Last Dragon. And so, Namari shall stand trial for her crimes. Her first charge is theft because she tried to steal the dragon gem, and after it broke, she took a big chunk of it to Fang. Not to mention, in doing so, she was responsible for unleashing the Droon, turning many people in Kumandra to stone and endangering many more. That's a charge of reckless endangerment. And she's made multiple attempts on Raya's life, which makes her guilty of attempted murder. And she fired her crossbow at Sisu, which would get her the charge of murder. But then again, Sisu did come back to life. Yep, but nonetheless, Namari shall be sentenced to 23 years in the doghouse, and when she gets out, she'll have to perform a good amount of time of community service by both writing apology letters to all the districts in Kumandra and making daily offerings to Sisu. Alright, so this is going to be the part that contains spoilers. So this is your final warning. Click away if you don't want to hear the spoilers, or you can just skip straight ahead to the end of the video. I'll put the mark down in the comments. And so, the last Disney film to be covered in this segment is their latest one, Wish. Which means that the final villain to stand trial is King Magnifico. Now, firstly, he collects all the wishes of his subjects and just stores them away, and he almost never grants them, making him guilty of both theft and extortion. And later, when Asha wishes upon the star and gets star, Magnifico sees this as a threat to his power and tries to paint Asha as a criminal, making him a charge of false incrimination. And the way he treats his wife, Queen Amaya, that gets him the charge of domestic abuse. And he forces Asha's friend Simon to become his helper by granting his wish in a not-so-sincere way, getting him the charge of criminal coercion, and Magnifico's final charge is attempted murder, when he tried to kill Asha. And I think that King Magnifico is deserving of nothing less than death by hanging. Well, that was it. The grand finale of sentencing Disney villains for their crimes. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And please be sure to check out the other parts of this session. And, again, I'd like to thank Jiminy for his help. It was my pleasure, Alpha. I sure had a lot of fun doing this. Yeah, this was really fun, Jiminy. And I'd also like to thank Bruton for his assistance. No problem, Alpha. And I'd like to thank you for giving me another chance. You're welcome. So, in the meantime, court is now adjourned. And before we leave, we're going to do something really, really special. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are.